thank you very much for this wonderful award that you are bestowing on me. I appreciate it much. And let me just say this. In my view, there is no job that is more important than educating our nation's children. Public school educators in America have one of the toughest, one of the most demanding, and one of the most underappreciated jobs in our country. And the terrible pandemic that we have experienced has only made a bad situation even worse. We also know the crucial roles that paraprofessionals, school principals, counselors, custodians, cafeteria workers, bus drivers, and so many other school staff play in not only making schools run well, but making sure that every student feels that they belong. So let me start by saying to Massachusetts educators, thank you. You are real heroines and heroes. And it is about time that you are treated with the respect and the dignity that you deserve. And that is certainly not the case today. In America right now, over half of our public schools feel that they are understaffed. Why is that? Why are so many public school educators leaving the profession that they love? Well, there are many reasons. But one of the primary reasons is the much too low pay that educators receive. In America today, the starting pay for teachers in almost 40% of our school districts is less than $40,000 a year. Further, 43% of all teachers in America make less than $60,000 a year. We know that paraprofessionals and other classified school staff are paid substantially less than that. So if we are going to attract the best and the brightest young people into the classroom, if we are going to encourage teachers to teach in underserved communities, if we're going to improve educators' retention and morale, and if we're going to improve student academic outcomes, then yes, we've got to pay educators in America what they deserve. And that is why I introduced the Pay Teachers Act earlier this year, which Senators Ed Markey, Elizabeth Warren, and 5 other senators have co-sponsored. This bill triples Title I funding. It invests in federal programs that support the teaching profession, and it will require states to pay a living and competitive wage to teachers of at least $60,000 a year. It will increase wages for all classified school staff and ensure wage increases over time for educators who have made teaching their lifetime profession, working on the job for 10, 20, or 30 years. Now, I know that some of you may say, well, hey, that sounds great. I agree with you, Bernie. But it sounds like this is a really expensive proposition. How are you going to pay for this bill? Well, let me tell you exactly how we're going to pay for it. We're going to pay for it by demanding that the wealthiest people in America at a time of massive income and wealth inequality, that those who inherit over $3.5 million start paying their fair share of taxes. Legislation that I introduced last Congress to reform the estate tax would raise about $450 billion over the next decade, which is precisely how much the Teacher Pay Act would cost. And it would not increase taxes by 1 penny on 99.5% of Americans who inherit less than $3.5 million. So let's be clear. If we can provide over $1 trillion in tax breaks to the top 1% and large corporations, please don't tell me that we cannot afford to make sure that every teacher in America is paid at least $60,000 a year. This is not a radical proposal. It is common sense. It's what we have got to do. And I should tell you that I'm very proud of the MTA's hard work to pass the Fair Share Amendment to increase taxes on the rich, to provide all students with a quality public education and access to affordable public colleges and universities. Raising teacher salaries to at least $60,000 a year and ensuring competitive pay for all of our educators is one of the most important steps we can take to address the teacher shortage in America and to support our public school system in this country. I look forward to working with all of you to make this legislation a reality. Thank you so much for this award. More importantly, thank you very much for the enormously important work you do each and every day. Take care.
We will do all we can to find a time when Bernie can see us in person and we can deliver this award to him in person. And I will note, he mentions raising the estate tax. We are facing a cutting of the estate tax in Massachusetts, or rather raising the limit up to multiple millions of dollars, because we all know how hard and how much the very wealthy are hurting these days. I hope the sarcasm is coming through. Good. Okay, we are working.